it's a brave thing for two people to come together and say that we're gonna do what we haven't even been shown. We're not even from relationships working out and all these years and still being happy, but here we are trying to do the impossible. The most difficult science ever is love, man. I don't know nobody who done figured it out. Like,
yeah.
It's and even knowing how difficult it is, you agree to go the distance.
These kind of relationships that get disturbed when we don't take the time to know what it is to sing, to know how to get close to the mic again. But it's singing doesn't make it happen, or maybe.
Welcome to another episode of Tune the Fork.
Yes, indeed.
I have emcee, producer, father,
Yeah.
picture taker. From what I've seen so far, just a really solid dude.
Things, exactly.
Why you?
Yes.
How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man.
Man,
Appreciate you inviting me out.
Oh, I can't even believe you agreed to do it, man. You're one of my favorites, bro. And your name comes up in so many circles. I can be in Chicago, I can be in Detroit, I can be here.
Excellent.
Your name always comes up when we're talking about MCs from this area.
That's what's up.
And that blows my mind, dude. Cause
man, I appreciate it. It's crazy, cause this all comes from not having an outlet. So to matter in somebody else's mind, that's excellent.
so when you say not having an outlet, what do you mean?
I say that because there was a time when I didn't have this as a tool to figure out how I felt about things. And like literally having a rough upbringing, all that. And I remember a time where I didn't really have a voice, where I would go through stuff, I kind of went inside, and I didn't really, I didn't know how to express it. So, of course, I wouldn't tell my parents or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I go to school for the early portion of school. A lot of folks probably didn't even know what my voice sounded like. I would just keep it real brief.
You were that quiet?
Yes, no, shake my head, like, cause I was going through stuff and I didn't know how to get out of that. And music kind of helped me find my voice again.
What's your real name?
Michael Frank Willingham Jr.
So you a junior?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a junior too. Salute. To
Salute.
the pops.
Indeed.
I remember when I was younger, I used to want to change my name, and now I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking?
Exactly.
I was wilding.
Exactly.
I'm so proud to have my father's name.
You know what I'm
now.
saying? You know what I'm saying? Seriously, my pops passed maybe, I think it's been about 6 years now. And the wild part is that I didn't understand how important that junior is until when he passed. My sister put in for everything that would show up on the actual grave, and she forgot to put junior on. Senior on it. And it kind of kept me from, since that day I haven't went back because it's kind of scary. Like,
Could you just see the name?
yeah, it's.
How'd he pass, bro?
He ended up passing by. He had asbestos. He was breathing asbestos in his lungs. Like, his apartment had he had other complications, of course, but they say that's what actually took him out.
Okay.
He was really strong though. Like he was the definition of people's like, how could I put it? One, he had HIV for, I guess I found out about 2005, and how I was told was like, it was the worst way. My stepmother had gave me a call and was like, yeah, you know your father got HIV? And she was like, yeah, man, I thought I had breast cancer or whatever, but I don't. And it was like, and just, I was like, I was ready to hang up or whatever. And I was feeling like, why you didn't let him tell me that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not connected. I don't really have a relationship with you. You just had to tell me that. And then I talked to him, and I felt better when I talked to him because he let me know that at first when he heard that, he felt like his life was over and all of this. But he said he talked to his doctor and everything, and they said that as long as you stay active, stay exercising and all of that, then you can still live a long life and all that. And from that point on, he basically, the same way people go to work 9 to 5, he would go to the gym and work 9 to 5. Like literally, at one point he was doing like between 500 and 1,000 push-ups a day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
So he was cut.
Yeah, his mind was just, he was disciplined. Between that and like his daily word was a thing. Like, that was the most important things to him.
He was a Christian?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But he was, at the time I was studying Islam and all of that, and I liked the fact that he didn't press me about that. He was more interested in just seeing how I thought, you know, because growing up, he didn't really have much to say. He was an introvert. He really didn't have much words until you did something wrong in school, did do your homework or something. He'd be ready to get the whooping, go ahead and pick a switch off the tree or something. But other than that, discipline was like his thing. And
being disciplined.
being disciplined, right.
Having a framework.
Right. And making sure that I had discipline. Like, you know, like that was nobody wanted to have kids that was just wilding.
Yeah.
If I were that way, he'd been pissed. You
Yeah.
know, so, but yeah, it basically, when he found this out, is actually when we started to get closer. When we started to have like long conversations, and I would give him like music and stuff I was doing and stuff, and he would take the songs or whatever when he was driving around and stuff, he listening, and it hit me back and be like, I like how you think. Like,
word.
You as invested as his thing was construction.
Okay.
Every part of how to build a house he could do, between the electricity, plumbing. Our family had at the time, it was one of few black construction companies my grandfather owned. And it's called DC Contractors. A lot of government buildings in the city they built and all of that.
Got that Marion Barry money?
I guess. But it was right. It was family business for a long time.
Yeah.
And my father was one of his first and most loyal workers or what have you. And he basically was telling me that you're as dedicated to that form of expression as I am to, you know, I took a lot of time to learn these things. And if you ask me what I like to do the most, that's what I do, you know what I'm saying? And we kind of could understand each other better at that point.
So y'all relationship was kind of strained before that?
It was an understanding. I always had love for him, and I didn't understand a lot about him. I had moved actually from with him at about, what was that, about 14 or something like that? About 13, 14. I just started going to Largo High School.
Okay.
And issues, I think I was getting spankings or whatever, and I just started running away. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the last time I did that, I kept asking to live with my mom's, who at the time she was living in Alexandria. And my father and my mom, though they were separate, they still had they didn't dislike each other. It was more so like outsiders that wanted them to kind of be at odds or whatever, but they never was like that. And eventually he was just like, I'll let you move with your moms. That's where you want to go. So I'm living with moms and getting adapted to, you know, the new schools out there.
Mm-hmm.
I went to like 3 different high schools, so I kind of got put in a mindset of being able to pick up and start over wherever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I thought I would be there for a long time. We ended up moving from Alexandria to Silver Spring. All of these moves were necessary, but it's just a certain, if possible, I won't have my son like having to keep starting over new friends. And
You recognize that was a challenge for you and the importance of like having roots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh yeah. It's a difference. Like when you go to every school I went to, you would have like people they done went to school since elementary school together. It's kind of built in. You got memories, you got loyalties and stuff that I can't.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know any of y'all. Luckily, I would find all the cool folks, whatever they would kind of be on the page I was on, but.
Were you you saying a lot of shit, bro. And each thing you saying is a world in
Right,
and of
in
itself.
right,
like
right.
which is dope, and I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
When did you start fucking around with music?
It's stages to it. When I was with my father, early on he put me in the DC Youth Orchestra. For
Youth orchestra?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Somewhere, it's almost near like the Stadium Army, I think was where we would practice at. I played the French horn first. No, I played the trumpet first and then the French horn. And I think I was in it for like 3 years. And I kind of got bored of just playing Mary Had a Little Lamb and all this. Like, I had ideas. I had other stuff I wanted to play. And they would keep telling you the focus is on learning this. And eventually I just was like, I want to do something else.
Tapped
you
out.
know? But later in life, when you get certain skills, you may not have to access it or whatever, but like sometimes it'll come back up and you can kind of figure out like how I can take what I learned here. And I had my own ideas, and like a good friend of mine, he also was starting to pick up instruments and stuff then. And I'm loyal to this friend, so as he's playing beats and everything, I can hear that I like the idea of it, the mood of it and all that. But in my mind, I'm like, I hear it's a little off. It's a little clash, but we just gonna work with that.
Yeah, yeah.
But in my mind, the whole time I'm like, when I get the understanding of how to do this myself, this is how it would sound to me. It took a while. That was about like 96 is when we first started, we was rapping over, at the time I had a older brother, not exactly my brother, but my brother at the same time. He was doing, like I would see him leaving with records in his bag and the bass. And, you know, it's just his personality was real big. Like when he's trying to say something, the point gets across.
Yeah.
Before I even knew he was rapping, it was just like, I could dig this personality. It's so clear. I've been around people who are like sometimey, and this is the opposite of that. This is just like full-fledged, genuine, you know. But eventually he'll come back and he'll be like, throw like this record on the table, like, hey, look at this jump. Because we talk about music all day. And I look at it and it had literally in writing, and the group was, they were called the Five Bros with Dirty Clothes. And he was
Five Bros with Dirty Clothes?
Yeah. It was really dope. The name is one thing, but when you heard it, it was like, ah. And then featured, it was Rodney President. That was his full name. And I'm looking at it like, wow, he played it. He was killing on it.
And he's playing the bass?
No, he's rapping.
Oh,
rapping.
okay.
Yeah, he's crushing. Like, and it was just that, honestly, time just stopped for that. Cause it just opened my eyes up to, that is possible. Like this same stuff I'm listening to. Me and him just was sitting here listening to other people, and he leaves and goes and made it a real thing.
That's crazy the first time, right?
Right, exactly.
The first joint, I remember being in the house with Terrell.
Mm-hmm.
And I had my relationship to music was as a listener.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I got opinions, critiques. I know what sounds good. I know what I like. I feel like I have an elevated palette for the shit in a certain way.
Gotcha.
And I pride myself on that. But I never understood how you got from nothing to that.
Right.
And I didn't even know where to begin to even conceptualize what the beginning part of the process is. So I'm over at Terrell's house. We just chilling, talking shit.
Right.
We watching TV.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking J.G. Wentworth commercial comes on.
Okay.
So when J.G. Wentworth, 877 Cash Now, whatever.
Right.
And dude, and then he goes over there and he starts playing, and then we're starting 877 Cash Now, 877 Cash Now, now, or something like that's happening. And then he starts doing these chords. Stupid, and then we did a whole song, and then I actually listened to the song.
Right.
And to see it and to hear it.
Right.
And to realize that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Was mind blowing to me, dude.
Right.
I will never forget that as long as I live. And I'm sharing that because I think that I didn't have practice of creating things.
Gotcha.
When I was younger. So I had ideas, but I didn't have the practice of bringing them ideas into the real world. And so I didn't know what that was like. And I think, especially like for young people, having practice of creating, taking what's up here and putting it into the world, I think makes them feel like they have a lot more control over the shit that's around them.
Right.
I don't know if that makes sense, but
I get that.
That was a monumental moment for me with that.
That shows you that you can mold anything. All day, that's definitely been, through this journey of music, it's been many times where we haven't had the correct utensils, or if you got the will to create, even if you, like my brother's big on, he's real personal, like, so if he's rapping, if he's sitting there talking with you, I hear this verse or whatever, so he'll come up on you, he put his arm around you, be kicking it in your ear, tapping on your chest. Like, I realize a lot of people, especially from this age, they wouldn't even like that because, hold up, what you in my space for?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but we come from that closeness, you know what I'm saying? That kind of like, it's supposed to be an engaging thing, you know what I'm saying?
Like the battle rap shit when they be not the combative nature, but at least the proximity.
It can go there, but it doesn't always have to be that. Sometimes it's a people thing, you know what I'm saying? You really relating. I'm really transferring my ideas and visions and the way I hear things to you, you know what I'm saying? It's a personal thing.
And that's important to you, right?
Like, most definitely.
I feel like everything you're doing for the people who, I feel like it's super intentional. And there's a process that you've got and an idea, and it needs to like align in a way. And once it does, it's like a, okay.
Exactly.
Okay. But it's a personal, it's intentional and it's personal and you're saying something.
Right. In my world, it was always gonna be that. It was always gonna, I've been trying to figure myself out through these songs for the longest time. I'm closer than I was then. I even, yesterday I cleared my hard drive out. I got all this old stuff I haven't heard in forever. Some of it I remember I really felt really good about it at a certain point. And I hear it now and, you know, I done graduated past certain stuff and my ear is different. And I give it credit, but when you're in the new, sometimes you'll go back and criticize the old, and it's not really supposed to be that way, because the only way that you got to where you at now is because that had to happen. You know what I'm saying? You had to be in that place. You had to not know to know.
When I first heard about you was through 1978ers. I'm originally from Kansas City.
Got you.
I've been here for a minute.
Got you.
So, and most of my time spent was in Virginia, Alexandria, Woodbridge, Herndon, blah, 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 far out.
Got you.
So I wasn't really tapped into the scene musically here in a way that I wish, in a way that other people have who are from here, I should say.
Got you.
I was blown away by that album, bro.
That's what's up.
I thought that shit was hard.
That's what's up. That was, yeah.
Y'all only did one.
Right. Yeah, that's my brother, man. When you listen to that record, what you're hearing is, one, that was Zach Slim Cat.
Yeah.
Is one of my mentors. That's the reason I've grown in a lot of areas and just being exposed to Slim Cat and him being open and like even to produce. Me producing, I have been trying to do that for a long time. I didn't really have the know-how of how to use drum machines and all this other stuff. I would come to other people and ask them to show me some stuff, and they'd be kind of like, if they don't see you just get it off the break, and it's like, man, you don't know how to do the metronome. You probably want to just do something else.
Yeah.
And I had these ideas. At the time, I had like a 4-track, a tape, analog 4-track. You got 4 tracks. So I'd have, I would beatbox for like 3 minutes, whatever the pace of the joint would be. I come back and I play this little guitar. It was missing a string or whatever, but I play a melody or whatever over it. You got 2 tracks now. I had a kalimba, little marimba, it's like a percussion instrument. Had little holes on the side of it, so you pressing it, and then you could wah-wah the notes. So now we got 3 tracks. Then I would take that, I would bounce those 3 tracks down to the last track. Now you got 3 tracks open for vocals. So you go back, and then, you know, you got your verse.
Yeah.
Use the other tracks for your hook or something.
Yeah.
And I would use this and actually started making songs. My little setup was the 4-track. I put in a suitcase and my microphone, and I would just go, at the time I was staying over a friend's house, I'd go into either his balcony or his laundry room and record. Until, like, at this point, I had like an album worth of things, and I play it for Slim Cat, and he was like, "Man, this is excellent." He was like,
No
"Joe."
shit.
He was like, "Joe, like, would you mind if I put some drums to it or something?" I was like, "Man, excellent." He was showing me how to use the drum machine and all this stuff, and then we started to get up. And then and even seeing his process just made me rethink everything, cause he had like these beat tapes, minute long. The beat would just fade in, fade out. It's just enough to get you in the feel of it. And I picked one, and I was like, "Man, I love this joint. Like, let me put a song to that." And he was like, "All right, bet." So he go over here, he picked one record here and here. All right, so he was using this box called the MS1, and which is basically you got some short amount of time to sample whatever. Once you make whatever you make in it, you gotta erase everything so you can make something again.
Wow.
So he couldn't actually pull up that beat. So he just got the records it took to make it. He knew exactly where it was, and he put the beat back together in like 30 minutes. Then he put that beat on the track board. At the time, he was like, "Yeah, I put it on there, you know, you just go ahead and record." I'm over his spot, and he was like, "I'm going to sleep. Just let me know, you know, what's up in the morning or whatever." So I'm like, "Oh, you let me use," like normally people wouldn't let you use their expensive equipment or whatever. And he gave me the freedom to do it how I wanted to do it. Just like worlds was coming together at this point. Like, I don't need anybody to create now. Now you're giving me the tools.
Had you done an album before this?
I was with a crew called The Remains. A lot of us went to Blair High School, Silver Spring.
Okay.
And we, in a summer, we had gotten a friend of mine, one of us, my man Omar Fido. Omar, we called him Fido, but his aunt had a house in Fort Totten that she was renting it. He basically told her that we wanted to rent rooms in it. We took over this spot. It was pretty much just using that time to get as much done as we could. And that summer we got like more than 100 songs done.
Damn.
We were just every day going at it. And pretty much we ended up, after living in this spot, everybody ended up going different ways or whatever. But that was pretty much a lot of my beginnings was with that.
So when you and Slim Cat got together and y'all made that joint.
You're talking about People of the Day?
Yeah.
So even with that, I would say there were 2 records before that. The Urn was before that, and Before Taxes, my first record.
Okay.
All of these records were actually recorded during the same time. Songs are coming from.
Cause that Before Taxes was hard, bro.
Thank you, man. That was supposed to be a 1978 album too, that and The Urn. But at that time, I would call Slim Cat, and like, I don't know if he was busy or whatever, but he kind of was like distant. And I'm still in my mind, I'm like, I gotta get this shit done. Like, if it don't get done, you know. So by the time he came back around, I was pretty much already done with Before Taxes. I finished everything. I didn't even know how to put albums together. I just did a lot of listening to albums I thought was classic, listen to how the transitions and interludes and the things that made them stand out to me. I just kept those things in mind with these songs and try to figure a way to just make everything be a smooth listen all the way through, and figured it out. But yeah, Before Taxes, in the beginning it was about 8 songs. It ended up being an album, but at that point it was only 8 songs. Slim Cat had put the 8 songs on like when you press your own CDs, right, with a Sharpie. He took a stack of them and brought to Fat Beats in New York. And he told the owner, just as people was buying stuff up in here, leave this stack right here and just give them away as they leaving or whatever. And one of the people who took a CD was a guy named Kenny Fresh from Portland, whose his blog was, Fresh Selects.
Okay. So
Kenny Fresh had reached out, he hit me up, was like, I got this CD, whatever, you know, you trying to put this joint out on my site or whatever. And I was like, cool or whatever, but at the same time, like, it's not done. It's kind of like an EP now, but it's actually about to be an album. I got more songs I got to add to it and kind of smooth it out or whatever. I had finished that at the same time that Diamond District in the Rough had just finished. So we were about to put that out around the same time. I just, it was coming through Mellow Music. I had just put it out as on Fresh Selects. We put the first Diamond District record we put out for free, but we took the curse words out. The version, the uncut version would be for sale or whatever, but around that same time, I put Before Taxes out the same way, but through Fresh Selects. And the label had reached out like, this should not be for free. Like, can you take it off of there and let's put it out? So I was
what
like,
we was talking about earlier about monetizing, bro.
Right. So I was like, cool, you know what I'm saying? It's coming, you know, it's going funny. Okay with Diamond District. If it gets the same attention, then that's fine. Like,
I want to make sure that I close 1978ers up. Okay. I get the feeling that y'all
I will say, what you were saying?
Did y'all have to end y'all working relationship?
No. Well, I'll say it gets sticky because it's we're working together, we're doing music together. And we are we're friends at the same time. And, you know, like my lady at the time and his lady at the time are cool. And it's, from there it gets into it's just, it's a real thing when people say mixing business and friendship.
Yeah.
Because when it's good, it's good. But when it's bad,
yeah,
you gotta cut everything off. You know what I'm saying? Which with that, we never really got to tour People of the Day. We never got to really fully maximize the situation because personal. You know what I'm saying? But I will say times have changed and a lot of growth had to happen. I actually I got a few songs now where I had to speak on just, we all got to get to a point where the main focus is the bigger picture. And I can definitely say with anybody, just in general, on this planet, I don't have an enemy.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody who has graduated to the point of being worthy of being my enemy. If we've had disagreements, everybody has disagreements. If I ever said that I had love for you, you can't really erase that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's about how much time you, because that requires a lot of energy, man, to maintain that level of those feelings for people.
Exactly.
And I think you gotta. If I love you, I love you. If we rocked, we rocked. Okay,
Yep.
we don't agree on this thing.
Yeah.
I don't have to generate an equal amount of negative energy to counter that positive that I feel. I can just feel whatever I used to feel, and then choose to
And the door is
shift how we
always
interact.
open.
Yeah.
The door is always open for that conversation.
And the only reason why I bring it up, because number one, that motherfucker was cold. Number one.
Appreciate it.
Number two, when you go and you look up 1978ers, it's just one goddamn joint.
Right.
And then you're like, okay, where's the
Right.
second? Where's the third? And then,
Right.
and because the first question is, or my first thought, and I didn't even know what your answer was going to be, was like, maybe they just decided to, because when I saw, the last time I saw Slim Cat was I was DJing somewhere and he was I can't
Doing the
remember.
sound.
It's on 14th and he was doing the sound.
Yep.
And
Yeah, he's excellent at that.
yeah,
too.
and I was like, yo, man, I'm a fan, bro.
Exactly.
I fuck with your shit heavy.
Exactly.
And he's like, oh, thank you.
He's so humble. If
Man.
you ain't say nothing, he'd never brought it up. You know what I'm saying?
You can tell he feels like he's just a good dude, but
And he loves, like, what he taught me early on. Like, I've been around people that make beats and all that stuff, and they'll, like, even when they get into making a beat, they would put a record on and just be listening for that part and go right there, take that part and then get into it. It might even be a dope joint or whatever. But when I got with Slim Cat, it automatically showed me the difference because we'll get up, really we just be talking, and then he'll put a record on or something, and it just be simmering in the back. And as we talking, there's something, and then this part will come on, like, oh, what is that? You know what I'm saying? He just let it ride all the way to the end. You gotta, his love for it, he's not trying to rape it. You know what I'm saying? He's not trying to just take, he gets into the understanding of what the record was about. You know what I'm saying? And
that's a different kind of relationship to the music.
you can hear it. I done seen him he was in a whole beat battle. He's in this beat battle. I think it was Crisis, Ill Mind, all these folks was in it. And they had like this one round where I think they all had to remix something. And everybody joints come on. Everybody got, one cat, he had all the crashes, all the big boom bash. And then Zach joint come on. Man, that joint sounded like
Melodious.
it just sounded good. It just felt good.
Yeah.
Like he didn't do all of the super try to get all the attention kind of things. It's his approach to music is like how he is as a person. You know what I'm saying? You really, you can put all of those personal things into your art. Like, be it you drawing, whatever it may be, you can be you in it. And that definitely helped me find that. Like, I got a triangle of mentors. They all focused on different parts. And for Zach definitely just helped me get into make it apparent that you love music. Every time people hear what you're doing, in some form or fashion, you gotta hear the love that you have for what you're stepping into.
And that's real interesting and dope for you to say, man. Cause and I'm not gonna say people's names, but you a lot of people we know's favorite, bro.
That's
Like,
excellent. That's man.
And as you're saying it, and then I think about how you spit and what you spit about, like, and it's not just you love people,
Right.
too, and progress, and you can tell that you're passionate about the shit that you're saying, and it's not just necessarily about the lyrics as much as it is your ability to connect. Because I think when you said earlier, you're trying to find, and I can't remember the term you used. You said you're trying to make sense of yourself, or trying to, like, through it. You can feel that.
Right. Honestly, I'll tell you like this. Like my lady, you got, or a lot of people. I know a lot of people that come from this frame of mind too. They equate a lot of things up to like schooling, degrees, what have you. What I come to realize is that everything, that's one way of lining up somebody's, how far you've come or what have you. But this is a different school of sorts. It doesn't come with degrees. Sometimes it doesn't. So I guess somebody would equate when you put records out and it's actually an official thing. Maybe that's a degree. But it's not. I study people. In a past relationship, I remember being judged about the fact that I don't read a lot of books. I get motion sickness a lot of times. I get.
When you read?
I used to. Maybe I would be like on bus or something like that trying to read, and it would kind of give me a headache or whatever. It's not that I didn't want to know what was in the book.
Yeah.
It's just that I learned differently. And when I got to thinking about it, the same way people collect books or what have you, I take every conversation that I'm in seriously. Even when I'm not paying attention, I'm paying attention. Somebody could be having a conversation over here, and because I have to be in this room with you enough to where I can hear it.
Yeah.
I read people. You know what I'm saying? I'm connected with the human experience.
Yeah, me too.
I'm invested in that, and I probably always be. Music is a good way of it really made sense when, you put these records out and you don't really know how good they're gonna do. You don't know who's gonna resonate with it or whatever, nor do I care. For me, I'm making sure that I get whatever my point I was trying to make across. And it's excellent if this does something for somebody, like, cause it wasn't, I know other people that create from a place of already thinking for people, and like I gotta have this joint for the hood, this joint for the girls, and it's just kind of rigid, and would that be narcissistic or just to already be
to know
planning out how somebody reacts to it, or nah.
I never thought about that could be not. Yeah, that's dope. How did you get your name, bro? Why lowercase, why uppercase U?
It's from lowercase to uppercase in itself. It's just growth, progression. Just being at a point where you're not knowing yourself, and now emboldened because you get yourself now. YU, I used to, it's funny, this same place, I was just walking with my son past PG community college, telling my son about how I used to go over here and use the internet when the internet first came out. He was like, "What? The internet
When the
first
internet
came
out.
Yeah, it's
Like it was a thing.
right.
I mean, it is, but it ain't in a
Right.
way. It's like
So
it's like when electricity first came out.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
but I used to go over there and I would just get on these hip hop chat lines. I actually in the past couple years, I got to chat with the person who owned the chat line, the cat named Davey D.
Hold on.
He's like the dude for real. Like Davey D's Hip Hop Corner. It used to be back in the day. I used to get on there and just people. It was people be on there battling. They battling each other and all this, and I was just seeing what that was about. So I early on noticed that it's all about your approach. A lot of their approaches was, they gonna do all this to you and I just would do these stories and like kind of put whoever this person was in a weird ass predicament or something. And they would always ask like, why you do it like that? Or why, I kept the name. I went from, at that point, when I would get on there, it was like, I think it was Unsurpassed or something.
That was your name?
Yeah.
Unsurpassed.
US meant.
You.
But I kept the YU because they kept asking me that. And I don't know, it just stuck. After I clung on to that name, I just never worried about a name no more. I just stuck to that.
You said when I look at your, I'm gonna stop on that.
Mm-hmm.
Why you taking pictures
Mm-hmm.
is your handle on Instagram.
Exactly.
It ain't why you the MC. It ain't why you the producer.
Yeah.
It's why you taking pictures.
Right.
Why you taking pictures?
I mean, I figured when I first was getting on Instagram, it was mostly like pictures or whatever. So I was just like, whatever I'm in, I'm gonna just find a way to use my name for whatever the theme is. But that, and even with when I gotta do publishing and stuff, my publishing is why you making music.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's a question and an answer at the same time. It's more people need to question that also. Like, what is your reason for even getting into this? I done come up around a lot of folks down to like certain people done got into it, they'll sing or whatever and they'll tell you that their reason was to get the girls or I couldn't really relate to that. Even I don't know, I take these things that I'm saying serious, so I never really would use that to kind of like, I don't know, like I got other people around that we're all trying to figure this thing out. And we're trying to see what our impact is and all of that. And with that comes attention. But like, I don't know. I try to keep it like, and sometimes not even this is to my detriment. Like, in a lot of ways, I could have probably like punctualized on. I'm fucking blank. But back to the point, which was the question one more time.
Shit, I forgot. So
yeah,
What if you've already figured it out? You just creating reasons to not act like you figured it out. Because I think, bro, you've already figured it out. When I hear you spit, when I see you do what you do,
Right.
I feel like, I think. Because
I just say the version I'm at right now. I'm hopeful, but I don't. I've had all the wheels spinning at the same time, at different paces where I felt like if I kept this pace up, I would be at the best self I could possibly be at. And I'm working with what I've got now. Certain wheels have kind of slowed down, and I've recognized it, and I'm getting them back up to speed. A lot of it comes down to personal life. Seriously, relationships and all of that. You think that you could separate these things, but man, the best way of understanding it, when I recognize that is a serious thing, I had to give it its space. I remember at one point I had to call the label and be like, look, I'm getting remarried. You know, it's gonna be some time I gotta take to just get this together. You know what I'm saying? It's that real, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, in the same breath, with music stuff, when I'm in relationships, I gotta let my partner know this, you know, this is the space I'm gonna need for that. You know what I'm saying?
And that's so. If you were to say that if an alien was if an alien just came down and landed and asked you, how do you figure that out? And you describe what you just did, they would say, oh, why you figured it out?
basically.
So
okay. Yeah. I get you.
So
I get that.
it's not a I think it's us being okay with our answers, so, and being okay with not having the answers to other things.
True.
Because sometimes we're asking ourselves. Sometimes I'm asking myself a question, bro, and I don't like the answer. So I'll ask the shit again, like I'm gonna get a different answer.
Right.
And I'll try to, move it around. Okay,
Right.
let me turn it around. Let me see if I can look at it a different way. I didn't really like that other answer. And then let me go create all of this anxiety and stress around, not like about, let me create all this anxiety and stress around trying to come up with another answer when that answer is what the universe has given me to move forward.
At this moment in time, this is where that's at.
At this moment in time. Now I just gotta, I think where I struggle a lot is this concept of faith and being okay with the unknown, realizing that everything's gonna be okay because everything has always been okay. Exactly. Otherwise I wouldn't be here.
Exactly.
So that's what I mean when I say I feel, when I see, two things I feel, bro, when I watch, when I look at your stuff. I feel pressure. These are words, I wrote them down. Pressure is a word that pops up in my spirit.
Got you.
I feel like you're under a lot of pressure. I don't know where that comes from.
You ain't lying. You not lying.
With why I feel that when I'm looking at what you're doing and how you're doing, especially like with your lyrics. But the fact that you're so clear and articulate with what you're feeling. Is anything I'm saying making sense?
Nah, it makes sense.
Okay.
It makes sense.
And I don't know where, and I don't know if the pressure that I feel is something that you're necessarily creating or adding to because
Right.
of how you're responding to what's going on,
Right.
or if it's the actual thing that you're. Is what I'm saying making sense, dude?
I get you. I wouldn't say that I'm creating because I was telling my lady this, that it's literally I done had like trauma and all that other stuff, and just growing, just being 44, and like, you know, I've gotten to a point where I've been in low income stuff. I done come up and seen what it is to be up over that. Once you done seen enough, I pretty much, now my vulnerability is when you got a partner and y'all are that connected. If you feel away, then I feel away. You know what I'm saying? Like, naturally,
you connect with
we're
people
that
like you were
connected.
saying.
So,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And until you are okay, I'm not gonna be okay. And even with our art, like I'm connected in our art form. I'm invested in where it's going. And I see what they're trying to do with our music, and I'm not exactly happy with the direction of it being so divisive, of it being so about separating us rather than connecting us. And you pretty much, with a blank piece of paper and a pen and an open mind, you are creating what somebody is going to focus on. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to just take the blueprint of what's going on right now and just start with that. Now, I need a blank page because I want to take it. I want to talk about something that they're not talking about.
Yeah.
Which is it's hard. I got people all day, like at work. I go to work, and even my bosses will pull me aside and be like, "Why are you here? Like you should be doing much more than that. You're smarter than this. You so, you know."
What do you think when they ask that?
I get it, but at the same time, I'm like, what I told them. I said, in your mind, you think that it's that easy, but to actually in this climate, to be actually talking about something and actually caring about your people and shit like that, and making songs, love is in it and in my work and stuff. But like in this climate, I'd be better off if I was talking about fuck these bitches, fuck niggas, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting my money, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With that kind of attitude, you can win. You can win a lot faster if that's what you're going for, but that's not what I'm going for. And it's a harder road. But I just on some life shit, I've seen harder times. So I'm not really scared of the fact that it's harder, as long as it's mattering at the same time.
When you said earlier trying to figure this out, what does figuring it out mean? That's probably a question I should have asked before I made my comment.
I forget exactly in what context we were saying that in, but for myself, it's just, you're trying to line everything up from, like, in the course of a day, that can be like 3 different people, from doing armed security, taking care of everything that's supposed to be taken care of that, because that takes care of home and shit. I gotta be a parent, making sure that I check all the boxes for my son to make sure that, because he's watching me, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeding both of those. I get home, I may only have a couple hours left before I clock out, go to sleep or whatever, but I gotta fulfill the art part of me too, you know what I'm saying? Because as I tell my lady, like, in the process of us getting kind of on the same page and all of that, I putting certain things on hold for a second because I like you that much, you know what I'm saying? But there will come a time where it has to be included in my everyday, like washing your face in the morning, like, or else I'm gonna start feeling away, you know what I'm saying? If I don't do enough time in that, then it helps me break down my day. Like I see and experience a lot within the course of a day. And art enables me to kind of break down all of what I've seen and kind of digest it.
And you feel you putting that to the back burner to a degree for your relationship? Is that what I just heard you say?
I can say I have to a certain extent. It's but in a healthy way. You gotta or for myself, I can't speak for everybody. I speak for myself and say that if you see something that's worth that, then you or at least what I did, it's discovery. You know what I'm saying? Love is discovery. Like, I can't step into a relationship like, this is me, this how I be, whether you fuck with it or not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to get to know you. I'm trying to learn. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, it kind of took more of my attention, and I not completely cut it off. No, almost like cleaning the slate. Sometimes I gotta do that in art. If you stay in art all the time, doing it the same way that you do it daily, all the time, you kind of warp your own mind. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, like, a term that she uses, she's a sommelier. So, like, as you're tasting wine, you taste of this, you fully, kind of go in on that taste. You about to taste something else, you got to clear your palate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So in this aspect, I had to clear my palate. So when I go back to my art, you actually do want to come back with different experiences and all that, different approaches and all of this.
Well, you think there'll be any resentment from you because what?
It's a balancing act, definitely. I'm pretty consistent. If I felt that way, and we like in the middle of going back and forth or something, I'm definitely gonna say it until it's changed. And
You
she
a
the
good
same
communicator? You a good communicator? You strike me as somebody who's
I
real in
try to
touch
be.
with your emotions and shit.
I try to be. I'm learning to be better at it. I mean, I think we all got that. Just in being black people, I think we all are working on our communication, for real, for real. It's so many layers to us, seriously. When you meet a person, you don't even understand all the layers you're meeting. You know what I'm saying? Because these are experiences passed down. You got your parents' experiences.
Yeah.
You're meeting, like, generations, every person that you meet. So, like, and in my family, we got our things that we still working on. We I can definitely say I apologize to my kids that definitely I was a lot closer with my cousins and you know, we would see
That's
family a
lost.
lot more.
Yeah.
And due to how things are now, we're working on it. But it's a lot of
It's different.
muck and mire to climb through, you know what I'm saying?
How well do you think, let me take it, that's a different question. You've been emceeing and creating for a while. You said it earlier that you struggled with your voice and writing helped you kind of helped you with that.
Most definitely.
Where do you feel you are now with that? Do you feel you're connected in that way and feel empowered and
Always.
okay.
I pull from what I'm dealing with. Like even me and my lady, we'll have disputes and stuff. And it's the gift and the curse of coming from a personal place that it comes out. Even if I don't want it to, you know what I'm saying? Like we could have a discussion about how just us as black people, we sometimes it's like levels. Sometimes people look at it like, you know, they're more higher up on the ladder or something, and you know these people they just low. I remember one conversation I had to break it down like, nah, it's actually different. Where if you got knowledge of all this higher up stuff, even that is useful. Sometimes it's how you talk to people. If somebody doesn't know all that you know, then you gotta one, you don't compare. You know what I'm saying? Just say what you're saying.
Yeah.
Better it leaves a opening for this person to hear what you're saying, because you never want to. When you want somebody to get something, you don't want to disrespect. Or because that's the first thing they're gonna hear. They're gonna close up
And it
immediately.
cancels
like, I
all
ain't
the other
tryna
shit
hear.
out. You
You
could have
know.
showed them. You could have told them what the winning lottery ticket is. They don't even remember them
They
numbers.
don't even want to hear none of that. But it's I definitely that specific conversation I took, and I went down. I told him I'm going downstairs to create or whatever, and I ended up writing this song called "Having." It's called "Having," and I came from two different perspectives of a person who had everything. You know what I'm saying? Got everything from generational wealth and all of this. Then the hook come in, and then the second verse is coming from the person who didn't. Because, I mean, the goal for me is to bring two understandings in the middle so where they can see each other. Because I don't think we're seeing each other. The way that this country is operating, it doesn't even care that they're not seeing each other. Now people are just high on their horse, whatever side you on. And I think at different times within society, we were closer to actually seeing each other eye to eye, and which would have been beneficial for all of us. But for the people that want to make money off of the way that we think and all of that, they figured it'd be more, you know, more money would be coming from us being on opposite sides.
It's lucrative. The vision is definitely lucrative.
Exactly.
Is it more important for you to see or be seen?
Definitely to see. Being seen, I'm good on that.
You don't care about that at all?
It's not that I don't care about it. It's just I'm more invested in the effect, not actually being the person. I think I give it to my father. My father, he didn't say a whole lot and all that, but his effect was it was big. It was, you'll never have another one of him. You know what I'm saying? He basically, his transition was so smooth, and he checked all the boxes. He made sure that he wasn't in debt, to make sure that, you know, we wouldn't have to pay some wild fees or whatever to take care of what he didn't take care of.
He handled this shit.
And he just was a genuine person, like, even when it was a disadvantage, you know what I'm saying? But it's that won't be forgotten, you know what I'm saying?
Do you think I feel you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I know what it's like I know that feeling, man.
Mm-hmm.
When you feel like somebody gets it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh, it's one of the biggest challenges I have
Right.
with my lady. I don't feel like she sees me.
Gotcha.
And and it was something that used to bother me in the beginning, especially like when you that nigga and, you know, when you used to being that dude and you out. But they weren't seeing me either. They was looking at like surface shit.
Exactly.
Which is where most of us put most of our time and energy into. But in those moments where somebody where I felt seen,
Right.
it hits in a totally different way. And I think what I try to do now is use that as motivation to try to see people more.
Right.
But I do recognize the importance of that.
Got it.
Because when I do feel it, it's some powerful shit. Especially when because I feel misunderstood a lot of times. I don't feel like I use the right words in most cases. I feel like I'm being, so I don't feel like everybody gets what I'm saying.
You'd be surprised, man.
And it feels isolating
go all
sometimes.
the way through. Just like, honestly, in cases like that, and even with it's being misunderstood, it's a power even in that.
It is.
Cause I mean, it's that means that there's something more to do. You know what I'm saying? It's you may be more focused on this one part. They might miss exactly what you're saying, but as long as you got them in the neighborhood,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
and sometimes they won't even admit. The person you're talking to in most cases won't even admit that they're in the neighborhood.
Right.
Because they don't give a fuck really about what you're saying. They just wait
Which
for an
is the main
opportunity to
thing.
tell
That's exactly.
you about what they thinking about.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
I get that. I think when it's harder, because the relationship that I'm in now, and you've mentioned your lady a lot, is probably the most challenging relationship that I've ever been in.
Got it.
It's also the most fulfilling.
True. I'm learning, and that's what I say. Like, we got little issues or whatever, but I am learning. I am hearing, like, and talking about background and talking about family and all of that. We exchange, and in hearing that, I get, I'm trying to take in all of this just for you, for my perspective of you. But then when I'm finished digesting it for that, it's like, it makes me think about all of that with me. And in a lot of cases, I'm like, I never had it like that.
Yeah.
Like, nah.
In terms of like problem solving type shit?
Just like, just kind of like family, just kind of lifting you up to where you're
okay.
going. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a lot of that. A lot of this, it was me.
Yeah.
I had to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And there's a definite clash with that because, you know, she's like, you such and such years older than me, and how do you not? You got enough time for the answer? Because I can break it down. I can break it down. You know what I'm saying? But you can freak out over differences, or you can really sit back and really take in. You be surprised what you can learn from it.
How do you feel y'all honor each other's differences in y'all relationship?
We teach each other different things. Like, she's more business oriented, more, like school, all of that has been and will always be a big thing. And different industry, she's within the hospitality industry. I never even knew that was a thing.
Yeah.
The fact that she's a sommelier, I never knew that you could go that deep into wine.
It's crazy as shit, ain't it?
Right.
You could taste something and tell you where it was grown,
the kind of soil,
when,
yeah, exactly.
what part of
And I like the fact that I never knew these things existed. So, you know, this is widening my world at the same time. Opposite side, I done been through a lot, and it's not that it just will make me shut down. I can actively break it down. Through going all through this, my level of patience, a lot of folks that I meet will be like, you know, I could have never, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'd have been hurt somebody, or, you know what I'm saying? But like, I have no choice. This is just, again, this goes back to my father. He was definitely hard to break. I literally seen him. I can speak on one situation. My brother, I think it was like a holiday or something. And say my stepmom is there. It's like a family get together, everybody's there. My brother's there, my sister, our kids, all this. And this dude that is with my stepmother says around my father or to my father that something about my brother was like, yeah, it's like he my son. So, a lot of cats would have just, all right, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like, my dad looked at me, was like, he see what you was trying to do. You know what I'm saying? I get it. You gotta be smart out here, especially when you see that people say things. We are addicted to reaction. Some person, if they want a certain reaction out of you, they win as soon as you do exactly what they wanted you to do. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't say that that in any way, like, if you know they out of your range, like, it doesn't affect me, man.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give you all that. You don't even deserve all of that. You know what I'm saying?
But that takes a certain level of maturity, though, and even, and maybe I guess a part of maturity is awareness to recognize that's the game that's being played, and you actually lose when you respond in that way.
Right. Some people really don't have nothing to lose. I'm careful when dealing with people that are not as invested as I am. You know what I'm saying? Because to them, they like, I ain't had shit to do today anyway.
Yeah.
You actually did.
Yeah, they woke up to crash out.
You know what I'm saying?
And they in a hoopty, and they running into Lambos, figuratively speaking.
Right.
Just wanting everybody else to risk it all.
Right.
You ain't got nothing what you perceive to be of value on the line.
Exactly.
It's hard. I struggle with that at times, man, because I try my best to stay away from situations. But when I feel like I encounter them, I feel like it's like divine moment where saying, oh, okay, now you got a legitimate reason to fucking light some shit up on some silly shit. It's not what I'm necessarily looking for, but okay, I came across somebody and now they caught me at the right time. I should have just stayed my ass at home because I don't want this kind of interaction. But
it's not easy. It's not easy, but most things ain't.
Dude, I need to know when you're gonna come out with an album, bro. I'm a fan.
Gotcha.
I've heard way too much music on behind the camera, and the world needs a YU, not a feature.
Gotcha.
Not on some. Give me 30 seconds.
I can dig that.
Not somebody else's shit.
Indeed.
Not on somebody else's motherfucking joint. Like a concept from your brain, your heart, that people get to consume.
Exactly.
Hold on. I got 10 more seconds.
You got it.
What you saying and what you doing now is cold motherfucking blooded. When can we get that?
I'm ironing out about 7 albums worth of material. It's a lot of this could have been a much faster process, but putting together a team is difficult. If I had an engineer, because I record everything myself, you know what I'm saying? So if it was as fast as I'm getting it done, it's getting mixed, man, there would never been a break in between, because since People of the Day, I've been recording the whole time. I got files and files and files, but getting it done the right way and matching that with, the artwork and
Can I push back, dog? I know I just met you, so it's gonna be, and I normally, I'm pushing back with just love, bro. This is just me, because why don't you just? I'm trying to figure out how to say it.
I'm listening.
You got a gang of music.
Sure.
Just put a bow on that bitch.
I feel that. No. I feel that.
I feel like you. Now tell me if I'm wrong, bro. Because I feel like you get in your way. Not all the time, but a lot of times.
I bet I have.
So
and then again, though, if it were that easy, like, I'm down to use my mix, but then, I go over Odyssey crib and hear it out of his.
It don't sound the same.
Several, like his. I don't even want to put his business out there, but his speakers are very.
They right.
In fact, because I know my signals, my frequencies is a little. Wow, I don't want these. I can't afford these speakers, so like,
yeah.
Could turn it way low, but I wanted to be right. Because once it's cemented, it's done. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost there. And I've been networking, trying to find different people I trust to engineer. It's been a road. We are very close. I would say that. I gotta go to Detroit to finish with Terrell, and then I'm telling him honestly, we should be at least throwing a single out to have them even want to hear a record. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can build that up. We can still be active while building that up. But we'll see. I gotta get with him in the flesh.
Hardest joint, bro. When the feeling is real You don't need to pretend. It'll heal any ill from outside to within. All you need is a beat and a pad and a pen. I have listened to that song, man. Over 100 times.
Wow. Really?
Over 100 times.
Wow.
Over 100 times. And I'm almost tempted to pull up my iTunes, so because iTunes keeps track of how many times.
Really?
It's a high number.
Wow.
And in the short period of time, because I know y'all been working on the joint.
That's probably more than me.
Listen. You figured it out, bro.
Wow. That's excellent.
And what I mean by that is, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about 95% of the time. But there's 5% that is spot the fuck on, and it's for the individual to filter out. Now they can throw the whole 100 out if they choose, and that's their motherfucking choice. And I love them, and I hope, and I don't, when I'm saying stuff sometimes, man, it's not intended to like be rude or dismiss what somebody else's path or thing is, but I feel like you're so much further along than you give yourself credit for, bro. And that you've got a lot more of this shit figured out than you realize.
Right.
And that there's so much, that there's a lot that you're adding to the story, because some of the stuff you just might not necessarily want to let go of just yet because you don't know. And I don't know where none of this shit is coming from that I'm saying it, bro. So I'm just saying it. But I feel like when I hear your music and look at what you're doing, I'm moved in a way that is very unique to me as a person who's connected to a lot of shit.
Gotcha.
And I wanted to look you in your eye, bro, and let you know that you're one of the best motherfuckers doing this shit, man. And I don't know what you got going on up here and up here to the things that you're balancing and managing to put your art out, bro. But it's healing to people. And I know that it's healing to you because you're making this fucking shit. And I don't know what's missing on your side or what part needs to be adjusted to align things in a way for you to start
trajectory wise, right?
Yeah, to get your art out more. But I would love to support and contribute, participate, whatever the fuck a human being can do or needs to do.
Gotcha.
I'm Tune the Fork. James Michael Shelby Jr. is that dude. I've heard nothing but beautiful things about you, man. As a man, fuck an artist. As a man,
I appreciate that.
That means that just tells me how you are in all of these spaces. Because again, your name is coming up all over the motherfucking place. And you dope, bro.
Man, I appreciate it, man. I mean, I'm eager to see these songs are like children. Literally, to see them get out and thrive in the world would mean a lot. They definitely have helped me through a lot of these songs, man. Like, part of the reason why I don't be tripping is because they've already did what they were supposed to do for me. While they were being concocted, I may have been going through a lot. And it's a lot of the tomorrows that came from these songs for me, because I've had some dark days, like, seriously.
Do you what's your relationship to like therapy and all that shit?
I actually about to embark on that, like a couples therapy or what have you soon. But I probably need to do it myself too, because I got a lot, like even before you get to that. I honestly, it's it's a thing now, but since I was young, in the thick of while everything was hectic, at one point I had to go to therapy, and it was just this person that was just talking fast, and I'm guarding my. You want to know all this personal stuff or whatever, but I'm looking at you like, what make you feel like, I should be talking to you about it, like, and I guess in my own way, I just told them what they wanted to hear to get this over with, and then eventually, it went into the background and wasn't no more. So,
Whenever I have, let me take a step back. So do you have any apprehensions about like individual therapy?
I don't at this point. At this point, nah. I speak freely now.
Okay.
Like, at that point, that was back when I was like running away and all that, and then actually later in life, I realized that certain stuff I went through, I kind of like when I moved with my mom's, I literally blanked out like all of what was going on over my dad's house, and years later I had to apologize to my brother and sister for like it might appear that I forgot they existed or whatever, but I was really just I was blocking out other stuff,
Yeah.
and they just came with it. But yeah, I've over the years, like during that time period, maybe about 15 years ago, certain stuff I just forgot about started coming back through dreams and stuff, and then I'm thinking this is like some dream shit, but come to think about it, this was real. This, what I'm saying? And it just, I don't know, I kind of, at that point I was like mad, but time passed or whatever, I'm kind of in a better space where I could actually speak on it. But
You said your son, man, is real dialed in that way and super connected. Do you feel like you're like that too?
yeah, he is me. Seriously, I be looking at him all the time, like even how he handles situations, good or bad. There's little nervous quirks or whatever. Like if you pressing him out or whatever about something, asking him something, it just zone out and kind of look at the ground or something till you just fall asleep or something, or like you tell him you got to do this. If you don't really want to do it and really want to do something else, he'll just fall asleep on you. You're like, I remember that. Nah, but he cares about others like as much as himself. You know what I'm saying? Like if anything, I could say, good or bad with his moms and all that, like he's doing great. Just as a person, he realizes it ain't all about him, and he can accept when you tell him he's wrong about something, he really will take a second and think about it, and he feels bad, you know what I'm saying, about the fact that I could have did better, or
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, or like I give him credit too. I told him the other day, in fact, I told him I like the fact that you could joan on other people and talk trash, but at the same time, you take a joke well.
He does.
Yeah, you could joan on. I get on him all day, talk about how ashy his knees is or something,
Wait,
and
man,
he'll be
you
laughing with
bullying
me.
your own son?
We do this. This where we from, John. We do that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
But like,
I'm fucking what you call it, bullying and shit. It's called
But-
bullying today. Yeah, it was
oh,
Jonah.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he, you know, I like the fact that even if he's the target, he could still take a joke, and that trait is going to help him in the long run. Cause you're not always going to be on the upside of things, and how you handle is everything. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all good to judge people by when they're having their moment, how they act. But in the big scheme of things, the more important part is when stuff gets rough.
Yeah.
What kind of person are you going to be?
And I think a part of our job as the people forging ways for these younger people is equipping them to deal with it. And one of the tools is therapy, bro.
Gotcha.
Especially because for us, like you were saying earlier, as black men, like people, we dealing and processing so many things. We were your son at a certain point, bro.
Right.
And then something happened and we wasn't given the tools or equipped in a certain way, and then we flip switches.
Right.
One of the switches that I flipped, being super connected, is I started using my shit on women. And I started having a lot of unhealthy interactions with women and using them and playing games and perpetuating these bullshit stories about, you know, ain't shit niggas and all that old kind of stuff. I got the skill.
Right.
Because I was born with it.
Right.
You know, when you care, when you connect,
Right.
you can, if you're experiencing things in your life for so long, that care can turn into something that's unhealthy, because caring in your mind and in your environment doesn't necessarily benefit you. The shit actually starts to hurt you. And if you don't have therapy, if you don't have a mechanism to process it in a way that allows you to move forward in constructive ways, it starts turning into other stuff. And so if my dad went to therapy, bro, and talked to me about therapy in that way, my resistance level to therapy would be a fucking curb height.
Right.
It wouldn't have been.
That makes sense.
So,
that makes sense.
Like sometimes having our children see these things in practice makes it not be so taboo for them when they're ready, when they need it. Because they, especially when you connect, man. Like I got a godson. It's a blessing to be able to connect in that way, man.
Right.
It is.
Right. Nah, you definitely right. Wow, man, my son done told me the most. Seriously, I tell him all the time. It's at a certain point, he literally saved my life. Like,
how old is he?
He's 12.
Okay.
Yeah, he's 12 years old.
Was you wilding 12 years ago?
But no, not necessarily.
So how did he save your life in what way?
Yeah, I couldn't be specific in this situation, but
okay. I got
just
you.
in a personal situation, I was at a low point, and he brought me out of a low point. He literally changed my whole mind about and all of the negative things I was thinking, I forgot about all that and just delved into me and him.
I got you.
And he'll never understand that, but I let him know that I appreciate you.
I appreciate you sharing, man.
Nah, good looking on allowing. This is a good thing. This is, for our people, it's necessary to have these conversations. Some of us could never. For some of us, this time would have been taken to talk about money, talking about, just flossing on people or something like that. Which we got a lot that we trying to get on course, you know what I'm saying? And these are things that help us get on course. Talking about, shit this deep in, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. And it's something that everybody's going through, man, and we don't know,
right.
I want to be that dude. It's not weak, bro, to admit when you feel in a certain way.
Right.
And we haven't had enough examples of that.
Right.
Even when you hear like the LGBTQ community talk about not having representation and about how important it is to have a black woman over here or a Hispanic woman over here, it does help to see yourself in somebody else when we living in a world that has so many boxes and frameworks.
Seriously.
And so for us to see black men sharing in a specific way, for us to hear them talking about struggling with certain things, especially, I always add that fly shit.
We gotta combat a lot of, there's so many subliminal things, negatively subliminal things.
That's a good point.
That we take it like it's nothing every day. I look at, if I take a Uber from home going to work, as soon as I get to the city, I was telling my man this the other day that every day we go past streets, all the street names will be people that used to have slaves. You go out here every day to make money. George Washington on this joint, who used to take teeth out of his slave's mouth and put in his own mouth. And knowing these things, you gotta be able to unpack this shit. They not gonna help you unpack it. They just like deal with it, kind of, you know what I'm saying? But in your own way, you gotta figure ways of empowering yourself. And I try my best to break down stuff to my son so that he won't have this huge load to deal with when he comes of age or what have you. Because I didn't really have that. My pops, like I said, he didn't really have much to say. He was dealing with a lot himself. It took for him to get to the point where he was about to pass to tell me the most. And I didn't know about his upbringing until this time. And he's telling me about how when he was young, they kind of like judged him. Like you had like, my aunt was the smart one. This person was this. And they used to call him stupid, you know what I'm saying, retarded. He was in special ed classes. Actually with my mother's brother was his best friend, and they would be in special ed classes together. I never knew that he was in special ed classes. He literally could build a house from scratch by himself. But it's people learn differently, you know what I'm saying? People put emphasis on different things. Even the way school is structured, it's not structured around all of these unique minds
Conformity.
They want, how you gonna teach one lesson one way and you just gotta get it? You literally constricted. You got certain schools where they don't make the kids sit down 3 hours in a row. They let them get up and do stuff.
Yeah.
Because look at it. You in a stiff wooden chair.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? No kind of comfortably sitting, and you know what I'm saying?
And we do that to our kids for 12 years.
12 years.
Minimum.
And look at the way school is set up, where it's literally crafted after the work day. The length of time that you in school, if you really want to learn, you don't just stay on the book like all day. You got to break that up so you can really take it in.
Yep.
But a lot of how this country is set up, it's getting you ready for the work world.
Yeah.
It ain't
to
even
be a
about
cog
you.
in a wheel.
Right. It ain't about you growing as a person. It ain't about you thriving and getting your own business. We was never told about nothing like that.
Your grandfather's still alive?
No.
Your dad's dad?
No, that's, my grandfather passed in December. My father passed on Father's Day that same year, and then my mother's mother passed like a month after my father. That was like the roughest. After People of the Day came out, that's what happened. And it's,
What was that, 2000?
that was like, what was it, 14 or 16?
I think I was thinking something 11. Okay, so that was a minute. Okay.
Yeah, but it's, and I spoke at all three of their funerals. I never had to do that, but like same time, all of my family is real introverted or whatever, and they know I do music or whatever, so they'll be like, "We want you to say something, speak on it," you know what I'm saying? So they just kind of all kind of nudge me to do it. And
How'd you feel?
Man, I never know what to say. I got like 2 weeks to do whatever I'm gonna say, and the words never come until literally 30 minutes before I'm about to have to say them. And I take a walk around the neighborhood or whatever, and I think about the person, and then all this stuff start coming back. I just say what I wrote. I just had to do this again, actually. My lady and I, we took a trip to Italy for a friend's wedding, and we leave. We took the first flight, and right as we're waiting on the plane before it lifts off, before you put it on airplane mode, I get a text, a DM from Instagram from I got a cousin that we basically connected on both sides. My mom's brother is her dad, and my father's sister is her mom. It's like,
wow.
Right. It comes from, we all in the same neighborhood. My parents got together, they weren't married. They all yet and still grew in the same neighborhood.
Gotcha.
But so basically my cousin hits me up. I haven't talked to her in a little bit, maybe some months. But it's always welcome. Like, she's giving me these, she's like, you one of the good ones, and I love you, something. I'm like, man, I love you too. I got, you got to meet my lady, let me know. And she didn't respond, so I'm like, is everything okay? You know what I'm saying? And then she didn't let me back. And then they say airplane mode, so you got to go on airplane mode. We took our flights, it was like an hour drive, whatever, to get to where we were staying at, get to the room. And then, found the Wi-Fi code, messages coming in. And then my cousin, another cousin of mine, they hit me up, and he's like, normally he's like always on joke time. You can't really take him serious or whatever. But this is the one time he's hitting me up, and he's like crying, and he's like, she basically reached out to everybody, and then she killed herself. And I was just like, I just got to Italy, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you know, how? Like, she always is in a good mood, you know what I'm saying? She, you know, she moved to North Carolina, bought a house, you know, she's a young homeowner and all these cars and she's living, you know what I'm saying? Like, and she was eating well. When you talk to her, she was all about the brighter side of stuff. And I just, you know, in that instance, I was just like, I wish I'd have known she was like going through stuff, cause like I think that's a big issue within the Black community too. Is sometimes we keep everything in. We'll have little small circles that we maybe talk to, whatever. Mm-hmm. But we gotta it's so much good that can come from just being open.
Sorry, I don't understand. Please use the Sonos app.
What the fuck?
I don't know what that was.
My bad, dude.
Nah, all good.
That felt like I thought the universe.
Right. Well, basically, yeah, it was heavy, and then soon as we got back, I had to get ready to speak at her thing, and
So you were getting ready to go, and she calls you,
mm-hmm. we were on the plane about to leave for Italy,
and you're talking to her.
Mm-hmm. No, this is a DM on
IG.
yeah, but I told her, you know, I gotta hit you up, you know, whatever. But
How do you I'm big on patterns, dude, mm-hmm. and disrupting them.
Mm-hmm.
How do you recognize that behavior in yourself, and then not that piece, but
mm-hmm. I mean, but
not saying
I'll
anything.
tell you, even that, I've been there. This actually, you know, I've been at that point. Like, relationships get deep. Sometimes you be that connected. You may have projected in your mind, you see years and years later, you see y'all, you know what I'm saying, having kids and the house and all that other stuff, whatever. And when stuff happens, it just interrupts everything that you was thinking of, and not a, you know, just crimes of the heart. Like some people would even believe that you should be able to be tried in court over crimes of the heart, because they're very intense when emotions are attached to it. That's a very vulnerable place for anybody. That's why maybe that's why all the cats on the radio is talking about fuck these bitches and la la la. You know what I'm saying? Because they've been hurt and they don't ever want to go back to it. But it takes a brave person to find their way through it. I tell my lady, like, just let's be honest, you know what I'm saying? And at the same time, it's a brave thing for two people to come together and say that we're gonna do what we haven't even been shown. We're not even from relationships working out and all these years and still being happy, but here we are trying to do the impossible. the most difficult science ever is love, man. I don't know nobody who done figured it out. Like,
Yeah.
it's and even knowing how difficult it is, you agree to go the distance. You got like, which connects to like, you got friends who may have known you when you were single. You know what I'm saying? So they, they like to wild out and all this. So seeing that you got, together, they want you to still, they looking at you like, oh, you different now. And you know what I'm saying? Oh, you probably got, family stuff to do now. And like, Joe, I still be living. I got time off, like,
Just doing different shit, man. Priority shift.
Seriously though, it's a real thing. It's work on all sides, and I be trying to tell my lady like it don't even the issues you have an assortment of them, but my answer is gonna be the same. No matter what, I'm here for it. You know what I'm saying? We can talk about it. As long as we can talk about it, we're gonna always be good.
That was something that I don't think my lady believed. And I think sometimes, and I was just having a conversation with my homeboy last night. I think it's two things that are taking place that are kind of intersecting at the same time. One is men not necessarily willing to acknowledge how we have shown up in the past and how that has put women in positions to respond in the way that they have. Not necessarily blaming ourselves, but at least owning that this action has this reaction. And then it's the women. And then when they come across a dude that is a dude, that's a stand-up dude, that is that nigga, right? They don't really believe it.
Right.
Cause it's like, they ain't seen it. So what does that nigga gotta do? That nigga has to endure. You can call it karma, you can call it just what your duty. Now endure, that don't mean there's levels to the shit, right?
Yeah.
I ain't mean you get fucking treated like shit and talk too crazy.
Yeah.
But there is a certain level.
But you gotta show them a certain bit of consistency so they start to see this is really you. Like what you say, people been saying stuff forever, you know what I'm saying? Like I done got to the point in certain instances, even words is overrated at times. Sometimes I just want a day of not talking to nobody. You know what I'm saying? It's words. Like I sometimes I don't say nothing, just be listening to other people and be like, I ain't got nothing else to say. But like in that sense, it be consistency. Also, what I was just thinking a second ago, damn, I done lost my thought.
With the consistency piece?
Yes. Damn it, I had it. But
So that might be the segue for it. For this. Because I know we're coming up on the time. I want to talk about this officiating shit, bro.
Oh, okay.
Me and you both did something for the first time.
Okay.
On the same goddamn day.
Exactly. That's
which
crazy.
is wild.
That is wild. That is wild.
You and I both were asked
Right.
by close friends to officiate their wedding.
Right.
What was your reaction
To being asked
when you were asked?
It was, my mind was split in half when he asked me that. In one regard, it's my loyalty to my man. Like, you know, I've mentored him for a minute, you know what I'm saying? Like, I understood why he was coming to me to say that, because early on, as they were, first together and all this, it was a certain night where he was about to make a rash decision and not be. He basically called me for advice, and I was like, "This is the person that you saying you like this much and all of that. If this is true, then you need to turn around and you need to go ahead and make that right. Like, if it's that deep, and I know it is, like, no, don't let a day pass, none of that. You let it be known how you feel, all that." And they did, and they thrived, you know what I'm saying? Now they got little son, Xavier, and now they married and everything. Like, him reaching out though, the other side was just like, really? Like, I just came from a wedding.
Yeah.
But I never seen myself doing it. But I just more so just put the focus on my connection with them. And I had to look into kind of what everybody has to say and all of this, and find my own way to put my own twist on it.
Yeah.
But
how'd you feel about the latitude to do that?
What you mean?
To put your own
your own spin
to
on
put your why you on it.
Yeah. I didn't have a whole lot of wiggle room with that, but
Was it a traditional wedding?
Yay and nay. It wasn't, what I noticed, at least from the example that I was going from, it wasn't super religious. Like,
Okay.
I didn't want to, because I don't want to be saying this stuff that I'm not exactly on that exactly.
I got you.
So I don't want to be saying a whole lot of stuff I don't mean.
Yeah, you don't want to talk about 2 Corinthians.
No. I mean, not that I'm not even against it. I went to Christian schools. I went to, all that. But I just where I'm at, it's just, I'm more so based around the principle. I think we sometimes, even religion is another way to be kind of parting us and stuff. Like, it turns into, like, if it's supposed to be this spiritual thing, which are backed by these truths, these principles to live your life by. Mm-hmm. And in the process of, pointing the finger at everybody and saying who's not doing this and, oh, they this kind of religion, and we turn our back on that. Like, if everybody go like that, that's divisive, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, very.
How could you, I would like to ask a religious person, like, what's your take on Bloods and Crips? Because they just chose sides like you did. You know what I'm saying?
Because most of it, if you a blood, you probably you a blood because you grew up in that area,
Right.
and your cousin was
Exactly.
a blood, and
Exactly.
your daddy was a blood. And I'm only a Christian because my mama was a Christian.
Exactly. We can focus on the things that we got in common, or the things that we don't have in common. But in most cases, at this point in my life, I'm focusing on the parts that I can change. Like, the parts that, no matter who it is, I 100% of the time, I can find something that we'll have in common. People that unsuspecting and all of that. Even if it's the smallest thing. Sometimes the smallest thing don't be the smallest thing to them. You know what I'm saying?
But we got to put our own shit to the side, though. We got to be more focused on connecting with them than them connecting with us.
Right. Yeah, it's that selflessness, man. It's a real thing. Like, I say life got better when I started to I find everything else outside of my own eyes much more interesting. Like there's a time when you do self, get to know yourself and all of that. But once you got a good understanding of that, it's the world outside. It's so much to learn. It's so much to pay attention to. It's great things happening all around you every day. But if your perspective is jacked up, you'll never know. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Well, man, I love your perspective, bro. And I hope that you keep connecting with it and sharing it. I have no doubt that you will. Your art, man, and your words continue to move me, man. And as a
Appreciate you, man.
As a guy connected, man, thank you for existing. I haven't met your son, man, but he sounds like a beautiful cat, man,
Yeah, he's in New York. His mom had a art exhibit that just opened up. I forget the name of it, but yeah. So he's learning. That's what I'm saying. Like he's literally in between two different worlds and getting the best of both worlds. Like, and he's the way that we leave it open to him to express himself, you know what I'm saying, and to ask questions, all this, a lot of stuff that I kind of couldn't have.
Yeah.
Even if I had me and her kind of were on different terms or whatever, we put all that aside for him to feel comfortable, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
I judge how I'm doing by if he's smiling, you know what I'm saying? If he feel as though he could talk to me and, you know what I'm saying? Literally, I give him the utmost credit because when I lay out the plan, he does his part, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know if I would have been exactly like that at that age, like.
What? As you figuring it out, you figured it out, and y'all just as a part of that shit as every other piece,
Right.
All the other pieces, man. So salute to you, the moms,
Right.
All that shit, all that.
Right.
It's just beautiful how it just works out, man. We just
even when it doesn't, you go back to the center and focus on the parts that you can change. Things be kind of up in the air. Even all of those things, I got the energy. I'm 44. Other people I went to school with and all that, I see them and it be an indicator. Like a lot of you're as old as your optimism is. When you lose optimism, you are slowly dying. I'm not dying because my ideas, they still coming. You know what I'm saying? So I be having to get reminded of how old I am. But yeah, he definitely he keep me on point. He and my lady, in fact, definitely when I go off the rail or whatever. And in certain ways, I've been going off the rail for a while. Like in the world of finances and stuff, like I've made money, but was it going in the right places? Was I focusing on life insurance and, assets? And I had to let it be known early in the relationship, like, you said your father was literally telling you these things when you was younger. We didn't really have those conversations.
Yeah.
I became an adult and it was just like, go. What you gonna do? You know
On
what
the
I'm saying?
job training.
And the I didn't know the importance of those things. Shit, I'll say this. When I started doing armed security, which is for somebody not having a degree, I'm at the time, right before then, I was working at like a CVS or something doing stocking or whatever. Busting your ass, unloading trucks, you are physically hurt after this and getting like $300 every couple weeks. And then I moved to doing armed security where I'm literally making like 10 times that. And coming into getting some money, it's like I'm literally walking around taking the train every day with like $2,000 in my pocket just because I ain't really want to deal with banks or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, my son's mom at the time, she's telling me like, why don't you just get a car? I literally, her telling me that was like a door opened up. Like, wow, I can get a car. For real? I'm literally telling her that, like, for real, you think I can get a car? She's like, yeah, no, you got the money. I went that day and went and got a car. Like, but it's for so long you've been making so little.
Yeah.
So you put yourself in a certain mind frame where these things weren't attainable. You know what I'm saying?
And it's not that they weren't, it's just we lacked imagination.
Right.
Or our boxes were a lot smaller
Exactly.
than
exactly.
what
But it takes, sometimes it
potential.
takes, in a whole different aspect, you need people to up your levels up. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? To let you know that these other things exist. That was similar to even getting into security. My cousin had came back from the military. I think he was discharged or something, but he went right from that to installing fiber optic cables stuff where he's got the best job in the world. I say that because he is literally paid to go to different countries for a month, 2 months, whatever. They put him in the nice places. You pay, like it's tax free, all this other stuff. Come back with these big lump sums, and you can just I guess he invests in different things or whatever. Mm-hmm. Just go like, yeah, I'm going to a different exotic country or something.
Yeah.
But he basically was telling me then that when he left the military into doing that, he was like, yeah, I'm waiting for this job to hit me back. They said that I pretty much got the job. I'm like, what they pay? He said like $30-something, $40, $50. Like, what? An hour? Like, at that time, I didn't know it was doable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But sometimes all it takes is that to know that these things exist.
The circle, man.
Exactly. And even that became, that number goes up and it keeps, the more people you meet and talk to, you'd be surprised, man.
Well, bro, thank you for talking to me, bro, and talking to the folks that are on.
Gotcha.
You on all
social media.
Why you taking pictures?
Why you taking pictures?
You on Bandcamp?
Bandcamp, Why You 78er.
SoundCloud? No, you're not on SoundCloud.
I'm on there. Why You 78er.
All the DSPs.
All of them. You can look up Why You 78er or Diamond District or the 1978ers. Everything pops up.
Thank you again, man.
Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you, man. And God bless you.
Thank you, man. Same.
Appreciate it.
Peace.